Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Car Addict. Welcome back. And it's a little ironic I'm wearing my Ktuner shirt today because the video today is about how I am switching to Hondata. Just for a short time, possibly. Alright, and that continuously regurgitated phrase, Ktuner is better than Hondata, just repeated over and over online, is all coming from people listening to other people, listening to other people, listening to tuners. I'm not going to make any claim whether or not Ktuner is better than Hondata in the hands of a tuner, because the tuner has more access to things than I do. So, I'm tuning my own car. I don't care what the tuner has access to, because I can't touch it. I'm only worried about which one is better when I'm doing it myself. I have both pieces of software on my computer, and there are things missing from both. I'm sure when I start playing with Hondata, I'll figure that out even more. Like, Hondata does not have the dual boost tables based on the economy mode button. However, they do have Hondata mode, they call it, which when you hit the econ button, you're between stock on economy, stock power levels, or your tune. So you do have two boost tables. They're just not both user configurable. When it comes to launch control, the Ktuner, you have an RPM you can set for your two-step, the cut and recover RPM, and you can actually have a timing target for anti-lag to try to build boost. With Ktuner, you don't have the timing target. However, you do have the ability to keep your lower RPM cut up to a certain speed threshold. Hopefully that goes off of like the rear ABS sensors, not the front wheels, because as soon as you start spinning, you're going faster than your mile per hour threshold anyways. But I've tried to use the two-step in this car. As soon as the front tires start going, the low limit is gone, and now I'm just screaming smoke on the tires. So it didn't really help unless I could let it keep me down in the RPMs until I'm moving a little bit further. So we'll see how that really does work out in real life compared to having anti-lag but no mileage threshold so that you get moving before it just lets you have all 7,000 RPMs or 6,500, wherever the hell you have your cut at. And I do have my cut higher, not because I make power up there, just so that I don't have to shift twice on a 0 to 60 run. Another thing I've noticed, on Hondata's flex fuel, you can only edit the ignition. Ktuners, you can edit ignition and boost. However, a big one to me is that Hondata has live tuning. Sort of. You can't tune everything live. Before you start, you have to choose what you want to tune live, and there's a limited number of tables you can choose. If you choose small, meaningless tables, you can choose more. If you choose big tables, you can choose fewer. But it would be nice, if you're doing your MAF scale, say, to have that live tunable. You can just drive for a minute, quick change, drive for a minute, because it loads it, from my understanding, it loads those tables and reads them from the RAM, so it can continuously keep changing them, and then when you're done, you can flash it to the ROM, and then it's in there for good. But while you're driving, it puts those tables to read them from the RAM, and then they're quickly adjustable. You're good to go right after, and you can go test again. So there's no pull a log, look at it, make a change, flash the car, do it again. So you're talking, you're sitting still for 4 or 5 minutes or however long to flash your car, whereas with Hondata, it's you make a change and you go. I also believe that the reading the data logs, the ability to plot things in a scatter plot, I think is more intricate, that you have more options in Flash Pro. I think I don't have a data log, so I haven't logged anything, but I believe you can omit certain information, like you only want fuel trims when you're wide open, or you only want this, or you only want that. We'll find out when I get it, because I'll make a video comparing the differences I found. Another one is I think the Hondata software is just overall use, so if you're going to move around the tables a little bit, you can select some cells in a table on Ktuner and press plus or minus, and they'll jump up, I think, a half of a point. I don't really remember. In Hondata, there's actually a little input area you can put in 0.01, and I've noticed it doesn't change at 0.01, so I don't know where the hell the correlation is from what you put in to what it changes. But if you put a smaller number at the change, so I'm just now thinking maybe it's percentage. It'll change based on that percent number, but if you put a bigger number there and hit plus, it does a higher change than if you put a small number there. That's kind of cool. I'm sure Ktuner probably does it, but if I have like a somewhat jagged line and I want to just smooth it, I couldn't figure out how to smooth it in Ktuner, where Hondata, it's pretty easy. You select it and there's a icon that looks like a curve with a jagged point below it, and if you click that, it smooths it, and it just doesn't make a straight line from the highest to the lowest or anything like that. It actually just kind of smooths the curve, but leaves the curve you were trying to establish. A cool thing I forgot to mention, and all this too, I don't even know if this is all for the Civic X platform, but in the launch control, you can actually, with the clutch in, I believe, and the cruise control off, when you're on the throttle above a certain threshold, you can use the up and down cruise buttons to raise or lower your launch control RPM. You can't do that in Ktuner. But something Ktuner has that Hondata doesn't, for one, is the V2. Hondata, you don't have all that stuff, but you can put your tablet on your dash for all your gauges. So really, they both have their pluses and minuses. The only reason I'm really going to do it is mainly because I'm tuning the car myself, and for me, yes, I would like to have the most power possible, but I do not want to pay somebody to tune my car all the time. Like, oh, I'm going to get a different turbo, let's pay to have it tuned. Oh, I got a different size MAF housing, let's pay to get it tuned. Oh, I did a few bolt-ons, and now I have a more efficient system. I can crank the boost or the timing a little bit more and try to get a little more power. Oh, well, let's pay to get it tuned. So I want the one that's easiest for me to use. That's what matters the most to me. When I get it, I will play with it for a while, do a video on how I feel, if it's easier or harder to use, and then we'll see. Whatever one I don't end up keeping, I'll sell, and that's another reason I'm kind of okay with doing this. I don't really see myself losing a lot of money. They don't sell used for that much less than new, so I mean, there's not a huge downside. If I was gonna take it in the shorts big time, I'd probably just stick with Ktuner, but the fact that I won't, and I get to play with something new for a while, because that's always fun, obviously. New toys is always awesome. So, if you would like to see a future video on the differences that I learned from Ktuner and Hondata, and which one I feel is easier for the average Joe tuning his own car, stick around, stay tuned, please subscribe, and have a good day. I will see you guys later.